It's been a long time since you saw a video of this scooter and a lot has changed. Don't worry, I never forgot about it. So basically, as you can see, it looks completely different. Well, these upgrades were essential to make the scooter a beast on the road. So the first thing is, what I decided to do is I decided to stain the wood. For the speaker mount. So these things have been stained, which makes it look way cleaner. Not only that, but by staining this, right, it makes the speaker pop, like, just like that. And then I also put some reflection stuff on the top as well. Also, it makes it more cleaner, right? It makes the speaker have a bit more shape to it, right? The next thing I decided to do was I decided to clean all the wiring. First step is I decided to remove the amplifier for this speaker. And the amplifier for the front speakers. But as you can see, there's no front speakers, because I discovered that I will need to install better front speakers to really amplify the sound. So basically, I removed the two amplifiers and I replaced it with this one powerful amplifier. This is an amplifier that I found. It was advertised as 1600 watts. 1600, but you know, these advertisements are crazy. On the listing, it said it's rated for 1600 watts, but as you know, that's definitely a lie. It might be peak power, because this is actually a 4-channel amplifier. On this knob, we have bass and treble, and then on this side, we have the volume. Right? The next thing I added was a step down, right, for the voltage to give me 12 volts, right? So basically the step down will step down the voltage and power everything that runs on 12 volts. This is the switch right here. Boom. As you can see, there's actually a light, which is quite cool as well. Now, basically, now I have a stable 12-volt system that's running on all 4 batteries, right? And it can power the cool lights that I now added. As you can see, we now have an LED antenna. Boom, right there. Not only that, but we have 360-degree LEDs all over the whole scooter. as well as the back. Look at how nice it looks from the back right there. Boom. Right? Okay. Not only that, but the switch for the LEDs is also lit up, which is pretty cool. And the most important thing out of this whole project is a beautiful stand, right? As you can see, this is the first ever electric scooter that I have built with an actual stand, which is so cool, right? So we have this cool switch for all the LEDs, right? But in the front, we have a nice, bright light. Basically, you can even use this thing for off-road. It's bright. It's so bright that I had to point it down because I didn't want cars being distracted from its brightness. Like if you point it a little bit up, I bet even planes can see it. That's how high it shines into the sky. I was scared. Well, it's like driving with a street light. That's how bright this thing is. All right, in the front, as you can see. So basically, when you switch on the front lights, look at the red lights, which is so cool. And it does it at the back as well, which is so cool as well. It amplifies it. As you can see, front lights on, boom. Okay, now the other thing I have is I have indicators. See, that's one indicator, that's the other indicator. Not only that, but I also have hazards. Boom. Right? And then look at this. Look at this. My control box right here. It tells me when the hazards are on, when the indicators are on, the single indicators, right? But also in the front, I also have indicators, which is like, it feels so different with having indicators in the front as well, which is so cool, right? And then the hazards also work, as you can see, right? And that's, oh, and we also have a horn now, which is cool. Yeah, and basically those are all the and basically the motor that used to be there was 300 watts, right? It was a scrap motor. It's been upgraded to that, which is pretty cool. So basically, the motor I was using before was actually, you could say almost like a junkyard motor, right? It was free, but it came with its own problems. For one, the block for the motor was damaged, right? So there was a hole and water went inside. Although the motor was patched up, it still was damaged, right? And it lasted for some time, but eventually it broke. But that's not a bad thing, because now there's a new motor, and it's 800 watts of beautiful power. As you can see, that's the motor right there, right? It has plenty of torque and speed. But the only downside to this motor is the previous motor, I actually installed a rear brake. But with this new motor, there's no more rear brake. In order to have a rear brake, you'd need to customize a disc brake on that motor. But other than that, the speed, the sound, the acceleration, the top speed, everything is greater than the other motor. And yeah, it's quite nice indeed. Also added a cool speedometer that measures the speed and gives me the time, which is pretty cool. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking or subscribing. I hope to see you in another video.